All right, YouTube, this is Detroit's HPTV coming to you out of Detroit. It's Tuesday morning, and we're going to talk about Kamala Harris again this morning. And I'm going to tell you why. I believe that if Kamala Harris is elected president, it will be the destruction of the black community as we know it, and it will be the downfall of America. And that's not hyperbole. You already see the division in the black community. You have so many black women and some black men playing racial identity politics. They want her to be a black woman so bad that that is the whole basis of them voting for her. Her policies when she was attorney general in California were directly in opposition to the aspirations of the black community. She locked up so many black men, held them past their out dates, locked up black mothers for truancy, and all the while touting herself as the first Indian DA. Now, they say, what difference does it make that she's Indian? Because if a person will lie to you about who they are, how can you believe anything else they say? She's lying about her whole identity. About a year ago, her grandfather came out against her and said that he was so disappointed that she would even consider herself black because in India, they have a caste system where the darker you are, the lower you are on the social scale. Now, you have the division in the black community, whereas if you're not voting for her, then you're a sellout. But I beg to differ. The Democrats, or better known Dixiecrats, were the founders of the Ku Klux Klan, Jim Crow, and they were devout segregationists. The Democrats still claim ownership to black people. And where's Joe Biden? If Joe Biden was found incompetent to stand trial in the case about the files. But if he was incompetent to stand trial, then he's definitely incompetent to be president. Now, they paraded him out when he was obviously in cognitive decline and hid that from the American people. And Kamala was a part of that. Kamala had the rally where she brought out Megan Thee Stallion twerking and Quavo saying that he supports her and he's against violence. But this rapper, I think he needs to worry about what happened to Takeoff because nobody in the black community really respects Quavo or Megan. But she gets these rappers and she panders to black people on the lowest level. And I'm going to show you why. A Kamala Harris presidency will decimate and ultimately destroy the black community. And that's not just something I'm saying. In her mind, she's pushing the same Obama agenda, the rainbow flag. If Kamala is elected, they will definitely change the American flag to the rainbow flag because they have empowered them to the point to where they have a hate crime bill, but black women don't. She told you she was going to do nothing for you. And she tells you she's Indian. So what's all the division for in the black community? I'm going to show you this clip from Pink Book Lessons. And I want you to pay close attention to what Kamala says out of her own mouth. Because, like they say, if somebody tells you who they are, you have to believe them when they tell you who they are. And she's going to say some things out of her own mouth that I think you should pay attention to. Now let's get into this clip. This is for fair usage under the 1976 Copyright Act for commentary, educational purposes. Pay attention to this and listen.
stressed for making Indian food.
Oh my God, you do have to taste just. Oh my, you have no idea. This is how my mother kept all of her stuff.
This is so funny. I told my dad, I was like bringing over the stuff from the store. He's like, obviously, I put them in Taster's Choice.
But this literally was how my mother kept all of this stuff.
It's so funny.
What is that?
Do they tell each
I
other?
don't know.
Taster's Choice.
Hi guys, it's Mindy. I'm here in my kitchen, and today we are cooking, but we have a very special guest. Very special. Senator Kamala Harris.
Hi guys.
Wait, so here's what I want to know.
Okay.
Is it respectful to call, like, I should be calling you Senator Harris, right?
No, you should not. That's not on my birth certificate.
Okay.
Call
Kama?
Yes, please.
Okay, because the Indian in me, I feel like my parents,
Just
my
don't
dad
call
will
me-
watch this.
Just don't call me auntie.
Okay. I won't call you auntie. They'll be like, how could you call her by her first name? She's worked so hard. Okay, so what we're going to cook today
Okay.
is an Indian recipe.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
you are Indian.
Yes.
Okay, and I don't know that everybody knows that, but I find that wherever I go and I see Indian people at the supermarket, on the street, everyone's like, you know, Kamala Harris is Indian, right? It's like our thing we're so excited about to have you running for president.
Yeah.
So we're both Indian,
Yes.
but actually we're both South Indian.
Yes. You look like the entire one half of my family.
I'm going to play this for you again. Because obviously, somebody's lying. Because Kamala Harris is clearly right here saying she's South Indian. This is what she's saying. This is what she has always said until she needed the black vote, until she became their front runner for the Democratic Party, and now she's black. But I'm going to play this again for you.
Hi! I love that you're coming to the kitchen already. You live here. This is so nice. Are you stressed for making Indian food?
Oh my God, you do have to taste just. Oh my, you have no idea. This is how my mother kept all of her stuff.
This is so funny. I told my dad, I was like bringing over the stuff from the store. He's like, obviously, I put them in Taster's Choice.
But this literally was how my mother kept all of this stuff.
That's so funny.
What is that?
Do they tell each
I
other?
don't know.
Taster's Choice.
Hi guys, it's Mindy. I'm here in my kitchen, and today we are cooking, but we have a very special guest. Very special. Senator Kamala Harris.
Hi guys.
Wait, so here's what I want to know.
Okay.
Is it respectful to call, like, I should be calling you Senator Harris, right?
No, you should not. That's not on my birth certificate.
Okay.
Call
Kama?
Yes, please.
Okay, because the Indian in me, I feel like my parents,
Just
my
don't
dad
call
will
me-
watch this.
Just don't call me auntie.
Okay. I won't call you auntie. They'll be like, how could you call her by her first name? She's worked so hard. Okay, so what we're going to cook today
Okay.
is an Indian recipe.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
you are Indian.
Yes.
Okay, and I don't know that everybody knows that, but I find that wherever I go and I see Indian people at the supermarket, on the street, everyone's like, you know, Kamala Harris is Indian, right? It's like our thing we're so excited about to have you running for president.
Yeah.
So we're both Indian,
Yes.
but actually we're both South Indian.
Yes. You look like the entire one half of my family.
Okay, thank you.
You do.
I've been telling people
You
we're
do.
related already,
Yeah.
so this is perfect. It's basically true.
For the last week, we've been told to shut up and vote for Kamala because she's black.
Now, we're going to say this. I'm going to say this to you again. What is the debate? Because clearly, Kamala Harris just said that she's Indian. She's South Indian. So when she goes on to the Breakfast Club and says she's a black woman, she's lying. Or she's lying here. But you have all this division in the black community amongst black Americans about her being a black woman, and you should support her just based on that. Forget her policies, because the only policy she's running on is abortion. Who is this person? There's so many clips of her village where her family is from in India. India is celebrating. And you know that if she's elected, it will be the destruction of the nuclear family. You will exchange your American patriotic flag for a rainbow flag, who they have been empowering ever since Obama. And if you think about it, this is some satanic or some evil agenda behind the whole democratic machine. Everything that God says don't do, they say do. They go against Bible. They go against the Quran. They go against the Constitution. You have to recognize this would be the apex of an evil administration. It will be the final climax of the destruction of what we know as an American country. Let's watch some more.
Protect her. We have to protect her. Instead of looking at her policies and what she's going to do for Black Americans. Well, more and more people are starting to realize Kamala the Cosplaying Chameleon is not Black American. She's a non-Black American, Canadian Indian, Irish daddy born in Jamaica woman. And when she was elected to the Senate a couple of years before she ran for president, well, I don't have to tell you, here it is. I mean, look at this in 2016. They promoted her as Indian American, from American media all the way to India. Shout out to our brother Kwame Brown. He had Judge Joe Brown on. And all I gotta say is, it's a reason why they're trying to rush this woman through, without people really knowing what she's about. We're going to get into it, but first, take a second to make sure you're subscribed to the channel and click the notification bell for all updates. Won't waste any time. Let's go ahead and get into it. Yeah, well, it's like this. Oh, we got to go support the sister. We can get a Black woman in the White House. No, you're not getting one. Her daddy says his entire background is either Caucasian Irish or Caucasian Hindu. His Irish ancestors owned a bunch of slaves, and none of his ancestors were slaves. He has a grandmother who is a dark-skinned Hindu who was a house servant. So where does Kamala get her Black ancestry, since her mother is classified as a Caucasian Tamil Hindu Brahmin caste person? They are dark skinned, but they're known anthropologically as Indo-Aryans, INDO hyphen. They keep telling us this woman is going to be the first Black American female president. Not only is she not Black American, but she came from an immigrant mother from India, and her father, born in Jamaica, is Irish and Indian. They've been getting over on us since 2020, telling us this woman was Jamaican. And of course, when people hear that, they automatically believe that her father is Black. But no, her father is Indian and Irish. And he's very proud to be a descendant of an Irish slave master. There's a whole town named after this slave master in Jamaica. But they fool us because of her parents' skin color. They have brown skin, so we think they're Black, when neither one of them are. But Aryans look exactly like Kamala Harris. They're swarthy, dark-haired, dark-eyed, and they're classified as Caucasian. So she's got a Caucasian mother, Caucasian dad. Where the hell does she come in being Black? And even if her great-grandmother was part Black, that's still not enough to make her Black in America. She'd still be a typical white person. You want to see what the deal is? If you're white and Black, do they call you white? No. They call you Black, or that other N-word. If you are Chinese and Black, they don't call you Chinese, they call you Black. But she's supposed to be Hindu and Black, and what do they call her in her own community? Hindu. So, yeah, she's lying. She went all through California being district attorney of San Francisco, then she became attorney general for California. Asian, that's classified as Asian. Hindu, that's from India. Asian Hindu all through California. Now she's Black. She went to Howard. Yes. She's an AKA. Yes. But that doesn't make her Black. She grew up in Canada. Her yearbook that you can find online if you want to go spend the time looking it up, in which she published when she...
And I've said this before on my show. Some Black women would vote against God, would vote against Jesus, just to put a woman in office. That's how wicked this country has become. This country is the whore of Babylon. And this presidency will usher in Armageddon and everything that you see in Revelations. Because how can the black community be so divided over an Indo-Aryan claiming to be black, only to us, but when she's around Indians, she gladly admits, I'm Indian. You've seen it with your own eyes from her. But just you still will criticize someone who states the obvious. Now, why is it a big deal? She made it a big deal by lying about it and doing the things that she's done. But we're not supposed to speak on it. We're supposed to uphold some type of being on code with an Indian who has never been on code with the black community, who cares nothing about the black community. She's married to a Jewish man with ties to Israel, who would, if she's in, he would be running things, telling her what to do, because all she does is cackle and give you word salad, so she wouldn't be running the country no way.
You had some things going on in California. It says she went from kindergarten through 12th grade in Canada. She lied about being bused in elementary school because she never went to elementary school in San Francisco. And it was not only that, but you also worked with them to oppose busing. And, you know, there was a little girl in California who was part of the second class to integrate her public schools. And she was bused to school every day. And that little girl was me. I didn't turn and looked at her like.
Now, wait a minute. Why does she lie like that? She never went to elementary school in this country. But she's going to tell you. She's going to tell you that she was bused and she experienced.
Well, Kamala said it was.
And she experienced segregation. It's like she's hijacking and stealing the total black experience for votes. And she does the worst kind of pandering. Clearly, a vote for her as president would be the end of America as we know it. And I don't think that people even doubt that. But you have a lot of people in the black community that for some reason, they just want her in there. I understand the Roland Martins and the Joy Reids, the Boulay that get paid to be pundits and shields for the Democratic Party. I can understand they get a payday. But what's all the confusion on the ground and in the community about this lady when she has already told you that she's Indian? So why don't she just run as Indian American? You know, why don't she run as Indian American? What is it about being black? Now,
But Judge Brown is saying she went to school in Canada K through 12. As a child, after her parents broke up, she moved to Canada with her mother, graduated from high school there, then moved back to America until she went to college.
She was born in the same hospital in the same 12-month period my ex-wife was, and my ex, now late mother-in-law, was a paternity nurse in the same delivery room where she was born. So, yeah, she comes from that, but her mother was a Hindu, a visiting scholar, and her daddy was a visiting Hindu scholar, also professor. So how does she become from that background? She becomes a black woman. She's not. She's a fake. She's been faking her whole damn life.
And now Kamala, the cosplaying chameleon, is trying to fake her way to the president of the United States. That's what's happening right now. She's fooled everybody for the last 4 or 5 years, cosplaying as a black American woman.
The whole deal in slavery, the Democratic Party invented, this methodology because they were this party of slavery. They got chartered first, second decade of the 19th century to spread and protect slavery. And they started the Civil War. They started the Klan, Jim Crow, segregation, separate but equal, supposedly, which didn't turn out that way. All of the racism, all of the racist sheriffs and structure that you had in the South that was democratic. And now they turn the same methodology that they used to tame, train, and domesticate and work Negro cattle on their plantations. They've done it so they get the same thing. It's what you do is you never ever let black men lead other black men if you can help it. Always get a black woman to do it. That was a secret that the slave masters had. So they recruit comely wenches to be bed wenches, and if they're good, they move up to the top floor. And when they get gray hair, they make them mammies and put them out to run the color on the plantation. That's what they're doing. So they fake this. Now, when I had my show, when it first started 26 years ago, there were what I thought were two beautiful sisters on staff. One of them was quite dark. And one day when the group of us were having a staff happy hour, one of them said, "Judge, you think we're black women, don't you?" I said, "Aren't you?" She said, "No, we're Hindu." And they gave me a couple of books written by some of their fellows, two guys who had cut their hair off so you couldn't see how wavy it was, changed the way they dressed, changed their language patterns, and passed for being black and got, in one case, a scholarship to medical school, got his way paid, and the other one got paid through school.
Masquerading as a black American, and that's exactly what Kamala is doing right now. And you wonder why when we ask her, what are you going to do specifically for black people? She's got nothing. Yet she's trying to use black American status to get a higher position.
So I'm not gonna sit here and say I'm gonna do something that's only gonna benefit black people. No.
So we can stop all this foolishness about what you're doing for black people.
I just can't. So Kamala the cosplaying chameleon, her mother is Indian, her father born in Jamaica. We've heard that over and over, but Jamaica is a country, not a race. What Judge Brown is saying is that her father is Irish and Indian. It's the reason why they just keep saying Jamaica, because they want us to assume that she's black. At the end of the day, though, there's no argument about it. She is not black American. Joining a Greek sorority does not make you black. Going to a HBCU also doesn't make you black. You have white people at HBCUs, Hispanic people at HBCUs, Indian people at HBCUs. Kamala, the most popular one right now, but it is what it is. Stop telling us we gotta vote for this woman because she's black and she's making history as the first black this, first black that. It's a lie. She's not like us. Let's go ahead and get the conversation started. Let me know what you think about this below. Special thank you to Edmund. I appreciate you, Edmund, for all of your
Shout out to Pink Book Diaries. Now, at this point, we know that she's not a black woman. So we would just actually have to say that feminists, and this is why a lot of white women have got behind her now that are feminists and the LGBT community. They just want a woman in there. They don't care about policy. They don't care about her record. They don't care about her lies. They don't care about anything. They just want a woman in there. Could you imagine this woman sitting in front of Putin with her word salad? Could you imagine her talking to China, Korea, the Middle East? Because the people in the Middle East already know that she's an Indian. They're not like the black community that could be fooled and swayed by the Democratic Party because they consider the Democratic Party their enemy. So they fact check everything that's being said, just like black people. Y'all should fact check because y'all are going out trying to shame black men into voting for this woman. That's not going to work. The Joy Reids and the Whoopi Goldbergs, we're going to do the opposite of what you guys say because we know that y'all don't have our best interests in mind. If you're a Black American man or a white American man or a Hispanic American man, none of these policies coming out of the Democratic Party will help you. It would only put you further behind, further in debt, make you less secure in your homes and in your communities. So what's all the division about? What's the division about? You heard Kamala out her own mouth tell you what her nationality is. So can we stop arguing over who she is when she's already told you who she is? Didn't Maya Angelou tell you Black women that when somebody tells you who they are, believe them? And you guys do know that she took Nina Simone's estate out there in California, persecuted Nina Simone. Don't y'all love Nina Simone? Every policy and everything she's ever done has been in opposition to the Black community until she needs your vote. She's using you, and she's dividing our community, and she's dividing the country. And I'm going to end on that note. This is Detroit's HPTV, signing to you out of Detroit. Support Detroit's Black Thought and Action Collective, the nonprofit out of Detroit. Salute to all patriots. And as always, man, keep your head on the swivel. Like, share, and subscribe. Peace.